So, the plan originally was to get some laundry done while I was here, but there's no place to do laundry, so I was just going to wash it in the sink and air dry it, but the weather made me concerned that it would dry in time. So here you see me doing a little trick I learned from people on Broadway, and I'm just using the rubbing alcohol inside this little hand sands thing here to kind of, clean up the important spots. In the Russian ballet, they just water down vodka and spray it all over their costumes. Where I left off last time was actually talking about why I came to this little cabin is because of this little cabin. It's my family cabin. My family's cabin was built in like the late 1940s, early 1950s on a beautiful chain lake, and I couldn't find out really any information about the lake at all. And from what information I can kind of remember about the cabin was it was built by my great grandfather and I think two of his brothers. And as they passed on and it went down to more and more families, less and less people were interested in taking care of it, which is kind of weird to me because many hands should make light work. But more and more things kind of fell in disrepair. But fortunately, a lot of the old school things that were left behind were pretty good quality and tended to last the test of time. Even that rusty boat was lead welded, so it kind of just kept on going. Looking through the photos, I found these of the original scooters that me and Marie have. This is the very first one, the LRX, was actually a really, really good scooter. Marie surprised me on that when I came back from a trip. And then later on, we bought this furnace, which who calls it scooter or furnace, and that thing was garbage. I only left this photo in because I'm in blue jeans, and I haven't worn blue jeans in probably like, I don't know, 10 plus years. So here's me with hair and our very first cat, Lynx. And here's one of my favorite photos of Marie. Followed by my second favorite photo of Marie, where she's slyly flicking off the camera. Lynx actually went for the cabin quite often, and not for sure, but as far as I know, she's probably the only cat that ever went for that cabin. The stove was kind of in disrepair and fixed with muffler patch, and I probably shouldn't have used it, but using it gave me and Marie the ability to enjoy the Chain Lake area in the wintertime, which was one of my favorite times to go there, because the cabin sat on a hill, and we used to go sledding down the hill, and I had photos of that, but I couldn't find it. So this cabin sold, I don't know, about 12 plus years ago, and doing research for this, I found out it has also been demolished, so it's nothing more than memories. And I guess after many, many years, I kind of felt a yearning to get back to that little cabin on the lake. It doesn't exist anymore, so I had to find a new one. And that's probably why I kind of chose this adventure in hindsight. It's kind of funny. Almost as funny as watching me scrambling around and making sure I don't forget anything in this cabin. When I go camping, I'm usually just like have all of my stuff within the vicinity of practically arm's reach. So now I'm spread out everywhere, and I want to make sure I don't forget anything. After too many idiot checks to make sure I didn't forget anything, just one last look at the lake, and it's time to say goodbye to the Carp Lake area, which is a fantastic area. I plan on coming back at some point in time with Marie, where we can explore and really check out more than just this little spot right here where I was at. But I was never planning on really staying and exploring. This spot was simply just a place to rest, relax, fix some things, and then turn around and head on back home. So it's pretty early in the morning, and I have plenty of time to come back. And when I finally got to a trail, not too far into it, I got to this kind of a river, pretty much. And I debated about doing this river crossing, and I set up all these cameras for this great, multi-shot angle, blah blah blah. And one of them, I think I just flat out forgot to turn on, and the other one just froze. So this is really the only shot I have of all this. And I debated about doing it again, and I just didn't want to risk it, even though I had all day. I wanted to kind of put down some miles. hot and dry, and a lot of that sand that was nicely packed is getting kind of loosey-goosey, and sometimes you just kind of go surfing. So I'm taking kind of a different route back, and on the way in, because I had camera issues, you didn't see a lot of this, but there was these ATV dirt bike tracks, and they were parallel side by side, and I don't really know which one's supposed to be which because they both look like two tracks. So I just always kind of took the one that was being least traveled, and I don't know where I'm supposed to be. And it's not really on my map here, but I'm pretty sure this is the start of those trails. Sand's really deep here, and I gotta go up a hill. It's kind of hard to tell because of the GoPro effect, but it's fairly steep, so it might peeve some people that I'm kind of going off-road here on these trail networks. But again, I try not to tear things up, and sorry, it was just easier for me to get up there. Will not stand. Yeah, big time bummer here. I don't know. I was probably about 20 minutes, half an hour on that trail that I thought was the trail I was looking for before I found this posted sign. And you can see that people go past it, but I told myself I wouldn't really trespass past anything that was posted. Like right now, I'm just kind of randomly going off road. I haven't seen any posted signs. And this is after I finally got out of that area, turned around anyway. And I'm really just looking for a place to relax. I'm really tired, and I haven't had anything to eat yet, so I'm getting a little weak. So I'm looking for a spot where I have a little bit of a view, and I can kind of hide out off the road. And there was some houses back where I came in at, but this looks like kind of a cool hill to hide out. And going further on, there's some houses, so this is kind of seemingly in between. And I'm now checking to see if there's like anything beyond where I can see on the crest of this hill, because there's a fence line you can see right here. I think it's funny that a lot of people like to go out driving to see autumn colors, which I do too. I guess that's not the funny part. What's funny to me is that really no one does it for spring. And I love coming out to these kind of areas to see the spring colors because they have a different thing than what summer has. And I don't know how many other people do that, but I don't know how well you can see it from me looking around from this POV shot that I've got. But the colors in springtime are, to me, just about as interesting as the ones in fall. Especially ever since it's spring. Most of the winter I've been seeing snow and then a bunch of just brown and mud. It's fairly blocked. A tree, scrubby shit. This is nothing road. There's one house that cuts back that way. And at that end, some houses that way. It's just really not much else. And I'm on the side of the fence line. Feel okay. Every time I went to this guy. But I'll admit, I'm tired. 1 o'clock nap time. A little snack, a little siesta. I don't know why I always get paranoid about like being harassed by people. I mean, usually the worst that people do would just ask you to leave. But getting out of that area, I decided to be a little more bold and daring and kind of come down through this kind of like grassy prairie area. It's amazing. I mean, this is, I believe, like 8 or 9 days in, and it was cold and snowing, and I think right about now it's, I can remember correctly, I know it gets quite warm, but I don't know about this particular day at this time would have been near 70. Certainly more beautiful than from when I started. And this area that I'm in too on the way back is a lot more farmy and a lot more open plain than what I had taken in, because I have to admit I was on a lot more blacktop and roads trying to hustle along, because I kept on getting to areas where there was lakes and trail things that went nowhere. Doing a little better this time on the route back. So, after finding another trail network, I decided to stop and fix my auxiliary light that's been bit bopping around. And of course, I use the same thing that I fixed it with the first time. Fix it with the same fix. Zip ties. That looks like I used two different ties. And what I find really funny also about this, I don't know why I figured this would be more interesting by having, so many multiple shots and angles, but, watch me zip tie more zip ties on this light as I zip tie more zip ties on this light.
Should leave all my
wait a minute, you know what I need?
Funny.
A better angle.
Oh,
POV. And to be honest, the only reason why I'm showing all this, I guess, is, trail riding and everything is a lot of fun, and I guess kind of part of the adventures is when you have to fix stuff, and this is the Honda, so this is really the only thing I have to fix, and Honda didn't do this. I built or designed or whatever this silly bracketology of zip ties and a giant pipe clamp around my headlight, so it works, kind of, at least for the first couple 100 miles.
And I can definitely tell I'm full regular new gas versus old gas, aka wreck fuel, which is real gas. So it's alcohol and gelatin agent bullshit. That really is actually really bad for.
Yeah, and my rant about ethanol, boosted or whatever fuel is true. It's really not good. It doesn't store well. It's really bad for your engine. So if you're going to store or use any of that kind of stuff, you should get wreck fuel. And there's actually supposedly a way you can de-ethanol your fuel, but I don't know. And actually, at this point in time, now that I'm in country road trail area, I'm going to start looking for some offshoots to disappear and make a camp for the night. Every time I watch this shot that I have a couple of different shots from this angle, and how close my feet are to the ground. It's like I'm just inches away. Oh yes, I almost forgot about that master link that I realized it's on the bottom of my boot. This is always a good sign for making camp. You can still kind of tell there's a trail here, but there's a lot more leaves. You can tell that people have been through here, but it's been quite a while. So odds are you're going to not be bothered by anybody in the DNR isn't going to be sniffing around back here. And what I'm riding on now, I don't believe is really a trail or a road or anything. I think it's like a fire break between the jack pines. And it's kind of interesting because it kind of shoots uphill. And ever since this isn't someplace you're really supposed to drive or ride, this is me scouting out for my camp. Love how I throw it perfectly there, and then hot dog shit, and I just decide, yep, this'll work. It's kind of the cool thing about editing. You kind of get to watch everything from a vantage point and realize how kind of ridiculous you can be. Humbling, I suppose.
This kind of sits in your stomach if you don't cook it, and it's really designed for microwave use. Oh, I'm in the middle of nowhere. Hey, I found a microwave. I guess I have to bring my power source over here to plug it in. Well, I think it's an old school model. I think this will still work. Let's see what we got in here. Toaster oven? What do we got? Yeah, it's a newer model. This will never do. Samsung's.
So yeah, this is like the last bit of my like meal type food. Everything else is kind of snacky. So I'm gonna be living it up. I also like to leave some of these shots kind of long and just when I'm doing my meals and stuff like this because it I don't know why, but I guess it's just a way for me to try to convey the concept that I'm alone. There's like just me sitting on this old microwave, which I have to admit when I first sat down I was afraid like all these bugs were gonna come out. Just eating a bag of rice and a bag of chicken. And ever since things were getting kind of warmer, I was afraid that I am afraid, I guess, at this point in time, that animals will be waking up and interested in food smells. So that's why I ate at a different location than camp. So hopefully, no critters will come looking for something to eat and tear at my goodies. That sounded weird. Tear at my goodies.
Well, actually, let's see. I have it backwards. 94% on that, which is great. That supposedly said it was full. I'm taking in power. Phone was at 34%. A couple of batteries are charged, almost charged up. So when you start out with a full battery on this little guy here, the setup I have on there is more than adequate. I think it just sat for 3 days, probably. I'm guessing it just wasn't on. I was doing nothing. So actually, surprisingly, with the cold and everything lasting 3 days, it's pretty damn good actually.
It's supposed to get a little chilly tonight, and I didn't really want to make a regular tent setup, so just burrito wrap myself nice and tight and sleep out. And I have to admit, I want to say that this particular night it was fairly early when I was turning in, but I had put down a lot of miles, and I was just really tired. I love my loungewear. And that's pretty much it. So tune in next time to see where I go from here. I want to thank all the subscribers and everyone else, and like I said, hang tight for this last little bit of thank yous. Take care.
This is fucking stupid.
So, and it's kind of out of my element here, but I feel like I should say something that now that I have over 100 subscribers. Over 100 subscribers, I have 101 subscribers. That's kind of cool because I really just originally started doing this to try to show off that I could do production stuff and maybe do production for other people, and I made stuff to kind of show off what I could do. And then I realized that I could also utilize this as like a way to preserve my memories through YouTube and then share them with other people. And that's what I've been doing. So the fact that I'm not trying to play to the camera like I am now, or try to figure out like what the algorithm is, or talk, headlines like I put $10,000 into my bike or whatever. I'm just doing it in a very, this is me doing a thing and you're watching me, and sometimes I have to use narration to kind of make it more interesting versus just random air in the background. And evidently 100 people find that interesting, which I find amazing. So I'm nearing the end of this adventure, and I don't know if I'm going to have the time or ability, because a lot of stuff is weird in life right now, to do a big adventure this year. I'm going to have some smaller ones, and one of the things I am going to document and kind of work on is kind of a series type thing, which will probably be pretty short, is working on this. I just picked it up not even 2 weeks-ish ago, and it's, it's the 1980s. It's a C70 Passport. It needs a lot of stuff. It has a new carburetor. That's garbage. All the fuel lines are held on by zip ties. This front fairing is not original. It's actually melting onto the exhaust. And a laundry list of other things that I can go into, and many other things that I'll talk about later. So that's going to be kind of the next thing. So, till next time, take care out there. Just cold. So we're going to get to that next time. Take care. There's no key in the ignition. What silly YouTubers do. Oh my god, it won't start. Of course it'll start. It's a Honda. I can get through all this crap I have to do all the. Even though it's been worked on, it's got Chinese weirdness on top of this Japanese beautifulness. Sure. So, we
got a good place to start, but this does need a lot of work. I wasn't joking about the carburetor being garbage, and that all the choke and all the gas lines being held on by zip ties. So yeah, well, next time, we're trying to help. Yeah, the horn won't work. We'll look into that next time. Again, thanks all of you. Take care.